Welcome to Scale With Us, the podcast for business owners navigating the absolute chaos of scaling a business and juggling all that life throws at you along the way.
Each week, we'll be talking about our wins and fails and everything in between because let's be real, it's not all smooth scaling.
So grab a drink, settle in, and let's get into it.
Hello.
You don't look sick. Thanks, Jess. That's a
You're
good way to
welcome.
start the podcast today.
No,
I am.
we're both a little bit under the weather, but we're good.
We're good. We're powering
You look
through.
amazing.
Aw, thanks, Jess.
So today we're talking about socials, and I was listening to a podcast the other day about showing up daily on your stories, showing up on socials, and you often say to me that I do really well with my content, but I think you actually show up on your stories a lot better than I do. So I would love to know how you do that. Tell me your secrets.
Oh, this is just a compliment session for me, sure, isn't it? Well, no, I actually do. It's funny. Like I would say that you're heaps better at showing up, but maybe it's different stuff.
Different,
Like
yeah.
I think probably when it comes to like stories, which is across like Instagram and Facebook because it's generically posted across both of them. I probably am fairly consistent with showing up, even probably on the days where I don't feel like it.
Yeah.
If you don't see me show up on my stories for a few days, it's probably because like I'm at like complete overwhelm limit. So for
Yeah.
me, it's a pretty consistent habit, but it drops off when I'm at my limit. But
Yeah.
even still, I've probably got some strategies where like if it's not me showing up and talking, like I'm still showing up even on the days where I don't feel like it. And I
Yeah.
think probably the reason for that is over the years, like I've just sort of learnt outside of the more polished posts maybe on the grid, we call it that. We do call it that 'cause that's
Yeah,
what it is.
that's what it's called.
On the grid. I've always found like for me when I'm following other people, like stories is a really great way to, I don't know, see who the person is and what they're up to
Yeah,
and
it's
do I like
different.
them. And it's funny, there's people that I watch their stories, they might have 10 stories and like I'll watch their whole story sequence.
Yeah.
But, like maybe I haven't reached out to them and told them that, but like I would feel like then I know that person, like that person, trust that person more and would want to use them in
Yeah.
their business. So I think over the years I've just sort of learned the benefit of that. And like it literally, I'll be at a conference or a workshop or something and people will be like, oh, like I've seen what you're up to, which is a bit creepy
How's
sometimes.
Bali?
Yeah.
And you're like, what?
Yeah. Like, oh, but I think it's because of that. As much as, like the daily posting and reels and all of that, is equally as important. I think stories is really good. And I said to a client the other day that was like umming and ahhing about showing up more on their stories. And I said, oh, like the thing is like if people start seeing you more and engaging more with your stories, then the algorithm works that then it's probably going to be more likely to show your actual posts to them as well.
Yeah.
So even if then I'm sharing what I'm up to or relatable stuff around the kids or parent life and all of that type of stuff, because people are engaging with that, then if I post something that's more business related or might have a call to action on it, the algorithm is more likely to show it to those people, and then B, that person's probably more likely to read it and pay attention because they're already into what I'm sharing each day. And and I've seen that in action. So I suppose I've had to probably overcome some fears and misconceptions around doing that to recognize the importance of doing it each day. But yeah, I mean, it's funny that that's come up because I would have said if I looked at you like that you do show up, but yeah, you don't think you show up on stories as much?
I will definitely show up in terms of like taking a photo of something and putting some text over the top or showing a screenshot. I probably don't talk on my stories as much as I should. And I think for me, it's probably just a bit of a perfection thing. Like if I work from home. So unless I'm like out and about or have meetings, I'm not, I'll just stay in my gym clothes all day and like chuck my hair up in a bun. So I think for me, it's like I want to look the best that I can, but that's not realistic every day. So I think it's that perfectionist.
Oh,
trait
and
of
I get
me.
it. I think
Yeah.
I've got comfortable. Like if I don't have my hair and makeup done now, I'm happy to jump on and do a talk to stories about what I'm up to that day.
Yeah.
But there's definitely some days I open the camera and I'm like, oh, no one needs to see that.
Oh
face
my God.
today. Luckily there's some filters and things, and I'll
Yeah.
be, sometimes if I'm not feeling myself that day, I'll just put like a little
filter
Paris
on, that's
filter over, and it just gives me a nice little smooth
everything
out.
over.
No shame in that. But yeah, I think a lot of my clients often have barriers of doing it because like, well, I don't know what I'd share. Um, I don't like how I look, but I think it's probably just starting somewhere, as you say. Like, I think even if it's taking a photo of what you're doing and putting some text, like it's a really basic way. I'm like, hey, what are we up to today? What am I doing
Yeah.
today?
People are nosy. They want to know.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
that. Everyone loves behind the scenes stuff. So,
Yeah.
and it's like what you're saying and what you do. I said to a client the other day, I'm like, well, just take a photo while you're out and about. There's awesome quote. I'm not gonna butcher
You're
it.
going to
It's,
butcher it for sure.
but it's Gary Vee talks about it. He says, document, don't create. I think we're always read, I've got to create content. But it's also if you just document what you're doing all day, like people love that sort of documentary style stuff.
Yeah.
So, and like across then, if you do it a few times across the day, it's like it tells a story and people just feel like they're getting an insight into
Love that.
your life.
Yeah.
So I try and do that a couple of times throughout the day. But it doesn't always work out like that. So there's a formula I learned from someone online though that was quite handy when it comes to, okay, like if I was needed to show up on my stories each day but I don't know what to do, like he said like a 3-part formula. So if you did 3 stories each day and you did it consistently for 30 days, like you dramatically increase your following and engagement. The first one was like a greeting, like what's on today. So ideally, if you can, it's like you see me doing my stories, like
Yeah.
I'll jump on, I'm like, hey, here's what I'm up to today, here's what I'm working on, or here's a realization I just had from a coaching call. If you don't want to do a talking to camera one, like what you do, just have a overlay of, hey, what's on today.
Yeah.
The second was to do something that's like about the business, like behind the scenes. So like for me, it might be, sharing like a product or a launch or something that we've got going on, or it
Yeah.
might be sharing a client testimonial or something that you're doing behind the scenes. And then the third was something that was more like personal and fun. So it's like a what's on today, something about the business, and then something more personal and fun. And then that apparently gives a nice mixture of people feeling like they can see and touch and
Yeah, I
feel
love
what
that.
you're doing each day. So the fun one might be more, look how messy my kids are in the back of the car or something,
Yeah.
something that makes you more relatable. And so when I do that consistently, like it does help. Like my
Yeah.
story views go massively up and my engagement goes massively up on all my other content as well. So like I know it works. It's just it is probably work to do it. Like
Yeah.
at one stage I remember like I had on my notes in my phone like just a little reminder, on the reminders of my phone, like a little thing. I had to check it off each day to go, have I done 1, 2, 3,
Ooh, that's
just to get me in the
in the
habit of
habit.
doing it.
Yeah.
Whereas now it probably happens a bit more organically and I probably don't follow that specific formula all the time, but it's there for on the days where I don't feel very inspired, because there's days, where you might not look good, you don't feel inspired and you don't necessarily want to show up, you're not feeling your best. So I think, having a little formula there can be really useful to go, how do I show up with minimal effort? Like the lazy girl method.
Yeah. Love that.
But I think, I mean, that's like obviously it's just one version of showing up daily. But I mean, like you're quite good at, posts and videos and stuff, and most people are, pumping out semi-regular content.
Yeah.
Like how important do you think that is for your business and your branding to have regular, even daily content going out? Like do you just try and do one post a day?
I try and have one post a day, but lately I've been trying 2 posts a day, or I have one post on mine and then one on the business one, which I can then use myself as a collaborator, which equals the 2 posts. But I think even just sticking to the one a day, but showing up more on my stories, that's what I've got to do. But I'm really into batching. So I will get a friend or a content creator to come and spend the day with me, and we will do a whole lot of reels. And then for me, that works really well.
Oh, I'm so glad you introduced me to Em. So,
Oh, she's amazing.
Social Content by Em is her handle. She's amazing. She'll come and follow you around for the day and help you
Yeah, if you're
create
in
a whole
Sydney
bunch
or
of content.
surrounds Wollongong,
Yeah.
like we'll put her details in the.
She'll also fly if you pay her.
Yeah, absolutely, she will. But she's great, and she, just comes and spends the day with me, and we will just, talk about a lot of things. Last time we met up, we did a whole lot of Facebook ads, but for me, that
So
works
on
really
that day,
well.
you are polished, you're feeling good, and
Yeah.
you go and create a whole bunch of video content in one session. And
Yeah.
how, like, if you spend a day doing that, like, how many videos do you end up with?
Between 10 to 15,
Yeah.
depending how long they are.
And then you can just like drop them every second day or so in amongst any other static or carousel
Totally.
content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think this will be interesting, but because by the time this comes out, it's probably going to be a month, and I want to be doing more showing up, talking reels, just as I am in the day, what's happening, what am I working on, tips, tricks, whatever. But let's see if I actually do it.
Oh, this is some good live accountability. By the time this
Yeah, I've got
podcast
to do
comes
it
out,
now.
everyone listening
Yeah.
can, all of our 2 listeners,
Yeah.
can go and check out your page and see if
See
you've
if
been
I'm
doing
doing it.
more video content. But the thing is, like, I think anyone would look at your content now and go, like you're nailing it, you're killing it. Like, how do I even get to the level that you're at? But I mean, you've
Yeah.
got big growth and scale plans, so it's,
And I've structured my business so I can grow the personal brand, because whenever I do show up on socials and talk about VAs, or like, it does bring in leads. So I have structured my business to be able to have a team focusing on the business, and me lately trying to focus on the personal brand. So it's like an actual KPI of mine to be showing up more on socials.
That's funny you say it, 'cause I was literally just talking to someone yesterday around like having KPIs around socials and marketing.
Depends what your goals are, but yeah.
Yeah, but most people's goals are growth, right?
Yeah, totally.
And leads and lead generation. And we have a lot of KPIs around, in property management, around portfolios and financials. But every time I say to a business owner, okay, like, so you want to grow, like, how many leads have you got? How much are you showing up on socials? What's your engagement like? We have to go in and check. Like, there's no tracking of those, KPIs. So that's maybe another conversation for another day. But really, I think then if we layer that into, if you're an agent or a small business owner or property manager, BDM, whoever you are, like, how do they apply this? So it's really around probably choosing the platforms where you want to show up daily, but also maybe just reposting. Like, I mean, that's what I sort of do. I just reshare the same stuff to every platform. I know you're supposed to customize it, but that way I'm showing up daily on each platform. The lazy girl method
Better
again.
to do that than nothing.
Yeah. Well, again, lazy girl method is working well for me so far. And then it's around, okay, what's then the daily plan? So you're saying, like, batch the content, whether it's getting a video or like batching content. So you've got a daily post or a video going out.
Yeah.
And then showing up daily on your stories. I mean, even it might be just starting with one, like what's on today, or sharing something about the business. So always sharing something on your stories every single day at a minimum. And then the other thing I wanted to ask you about is the community engagement piece, because I think if you're going to go and do something on socials daily, I know you're quite good at going and engaging with other, businesses, collaborators, and people to help you get seen by other people. Do you have any like daily KPIs around doing that, or is that more just now a habit for you that you just kind of go on and spend 10 minutes engaging and chatting
It's
with
more
people?
of a habit now, but when I started, it was definitely something I focused on, making sure I was networking with the right people, photos, videos, making sure I was tagging their business or them so they would reshare that. Even things like, free Zooms or, webinars, making sure you're jumping on that and, tagging whoever the coach is to get seen by other people.
Yeah, I suppose that, like, for you, that's getting you in front of other
Business
ideal
owners.
clients. So it's
Yeah.
like for like if you're wanting to get seen by your ideal client, it's like, where are they hanging out? Whose pages are they associating with?
Yeah.
And then actively contributing to the conversations on those.
Totally. Yeah. And I think for, the listeners that are in real estate, it would be getting out in the local community. What's happening? Is there a local event that they could go to that they could tag, or the local coffee shop, if they're quite big on socials and you take a photo of your coffee and put your to-do list or whatever over the top of that, are they going to reshare that? So being seen, being retagged and things in that is helpful to get seen, like in the local community.
Yeah. So having a post each day, sharing on the stories each day, and then going to that next level and engaging with some other people in your network or community each day.
Yeah.
What about like expanding like your followers? So if you're getting new followers in, like should you be going and sending them a message, every single day you look at your new followers and send them a message? Because I suppose what we're trying to formulate here is a bit of a daily plan. If you're going to go and shop daily on your socials,
Yep.
we've got, stories and posts, but like the engagement piece, community stuff, but also your conversations become really important, because otherwise it just becomes this, quiet place that you go on to. But really,
I used to greet every new follower. I don't anymore. I probably should. But I think definitely for our listeners, if you're getting a couple of followers a day or a week and they're likely to be in the community, I think it's really nice to say, hey, thanks for following. And it just opens the door for them to say, oh, no worries, I'm loving your content, or I met you at that local thing, wherever. And it just keeps that communication line open, shows that you're a real person. You just never know when someone will go, oh, like, yeah, my friend, recommended you. I'd love you to come and do an appraisal on the property, or I'd, need a new property manager.
yeah.
So I think it's something
I
really
think I
quick
like
and
what you say is
easy.
like just welcoming them and connecting with them, because I think sometimes that people want to then go straight into like hard sell.
No,
We all know like
don't.
no one likes a hard sell DM.
I wouldn't
So
at all.
like
Just
each
say
day,
hello.
good plan to be to just see who's followed you, just say, hey, thanks for connecting. I'm here if you need any help.
Yeah.
Or I've seen some who say like, what brought you to my page.
Yeah.
So I think that if you did those few things like consistently each day, I think the impact of that, as far as, your engagement, your following, and ideally then the leads that you're able to get from social media are only going to increase because of that.
Yeah. I think the Instagram algorithm would also then know that you two are friends. If there's a conversation happening, you two are friends, I guess, in the eyes of Instagram. So you're more than likely going to have your stories come up in that bar for them to click on and view.
Well, it's also how it works with that community engagement stuff, right? Like if you're going and commenting and interacting, like let's say you've got a broker in your community, or as you say, like a local business or a cafe, if you're going and interacting with their content, you're commenting and you're resharing and you're tagging and all of that kind of stuff, the algorithm is naturally then going to show your content to their followers as well, because they're going to assume that you guys have the same avatar and the type of people that you're attracting.
Yeah.
So it's not just you should show up daily on stories. There's actually power in what happens behind the scenes as a result of that.
Yeah.
And I think it has like a compounding effect as well. And I think the thing is, if you don't show up daily, I think you've got this risk. I think we spoke about it a few weeks ago, of then the perception of your brand like not actually being like active.
Yeah. Yeah, very true.
I think I spoke about how, we in doing like a Instagram social media audit with someone, like we looked at their profile and they hadn't posted anything in 2 years. And I said, if I was a potential client or someone that had come across you, I'd look at that and go, are they still open? Are they still active? Right. So ideally you'd want to see, if I went into a business, I'd want to see a business or a personal brand. Like I'd want to see fairly recent posts that are relevant to me, that make sense to me, that I want to engage with. But also I'd be probably looking like, do they have any stories? Like what have they been up to?
I wouldn't even follow them. If I jumped on a page and saw that they hadn't posted, well, first of all, you're probably not going to get any new followers, because Instagram is going to think your account's dead and not show it to anyone. So I'm not sure how they would even get new followers, but I just wouldn't even follow someone, even if I was searching for whatever they had or whatever they were selling, whatever business it was. and I went on their page and I saw that they hadn't posted in 2 years, I just wouldn't even follow them.
Yeah. And I think then, like, I think that's really important to consider. But then I think if, let's say, you were a follower and then you're not seeing them and you're not hearing from them, like, you're basically invisible, right?
You're
Because
not going to be front of mind.
you're not going to be front of
Yeah.
mind. And if your competitors are, like, you're just slowly fading into the background. So
Yeah.
it's almost like you kind of got to be in it to win it as well. And we
Mhm.
know that, like, socials is it's a way that people connect with you and suss you out and kind of get to know you before they make that decision as
Yeah.
to whether they're going to consider you or put you on the shopping list for a potential agent or
Mhm.
property manager for them. Um, and so it's a way, as I said before, it's a way for them to get to, like, know you, like you, and trust you.
Yeah.
And, like, it works. Like, I've got clients all the time, like, oh, we said to do all that consistent posting, and now,
It's working, shocker.
6 months in, now, yeah, we probably get, like, a lead or two a week from socials where people are like, yep, ready to take that next step with you. And especially if they're not doing anything with their email marketing or, only giving them a call like once a year to check in, like, the socials is another way for them to
Yeah.
connect with you. So I think it might also be on that daily plan is like, who can you go and connect with that might be your potential clients. Instagram and Facebook obviously a bit trickier, but, like, if you went on LinkedIn, if you're posting daily content on LinkedIn and part of your daily kind of strategy is I'm going to go and connect with 5 new people on LinkedIn, and you maybe go and connect with 5 new brokers or 5 new referral partners, or you go into investor groups that are on there and you actually then go and connect with some of the landlords that are in there.
Yeah.
I think that could form, part of that daily content plan. So what have we got? We've got posting something daily on your stories, having
Yeah.
daily content going out, going and, connecting and interacting with community partners in the business, making sure that you're actively going and welcoming new people and starting conversations as well. Like, I
Yeah.
think that's important because what's that saying? Conversions happen in the conversations without being salesy and pitchy.
Yeah.
And then, looking at how you go out and add new connections. I think that's a pretty good little daily content plan.
Yeah. How long would you suggest, like if you were speaking to a client, how long would you suggest that they hang out on social media for? Because I know a lot of people listening to this would be like, oh, that sounds great, but I don't have a lot of time. But we know the more time you put into it, the more will pay off. But I think it depends what you're doing on there, of course.
I
You
think,
can't
like,
just go on
the
socials
daily
and
posting
scroll.
and content, like if we're talking about posts and reels and carousels and, like, the actual content that you're posting, I feel like that's more time consuming. Obviously, if you listen to our lovely AI episode from
Yeah.
last week,
Sweet.
you'll see it can be quicker, but it's still usually that's creating the content, batching it, scheduling it, all of that type of stuff. So if you've got that all scheduled in advance, then really, like, it's just like 10 minutes a day.
Yeah.
Just jump on your stories, interact with some local businesses, welcome your followers, have some conversations.
Yeah.
If you did 10 minutes a day, like, I don't know, I think the compound effect of that over,
Totally.
7 days, 14
Yeah.
days, 21 days, 30 days, that's going to be pretty powerful.
Yeah. I would do, even 10 minutes twice a day. And I think if everyone looks at their screen time, they're doing that anyway in terms of just doom scrolling. So I think if you do it 10 minutes in the morning, you jump on there, you say hello, you talk about what you're doing for the day, that might get some engagement. And then at night, you could sit there while you're watching telly and just say hello to those new followers. Bit of a recap of the day. That would be ideal. I think once a day, I mean,
Like,
it
starting with
depends.
once a day, pop it in your diary, 10 minutes in the morning, and then,
Set a
like,
reminder. Yeah.
and maybe it is just that consciousness of going, okay, instead of scrolling through, 20 minutes of other people's content, just take 5 minutes of that to do
Yep.
some of the other
And
strategies.
you'll find that you won't need those reminders.
Yeah, it
After
becomes
a
a
while,
habit.
it's also a bit addictive. If you're spending time on something and it's paying off and you're getting engagement, you're getting leads, you're getting, new followers, it becomes a little bit addictive because the more time you do spend on it, the more it's going to pay off. But yeah, I think start 5 minutes morning, 5 minutes in the night or afternoon, and then, set a reminder if you need to. But it'll pay off for sure.
I think just, and then just to finish it off, I think it's just getting in that Gary Vee habit. It's just document what you do. Don't stress about, I've got to create the perfect content. If you just did nothing else but documented what you do all day, every time you're, heading to an appointment, every time, even if it's just you sitting at your desk, if you're just documenting what you do, like you think it's boring, but other people like to see,
Yeah.
like think about the content you consume, right? Like
Oh.
it's ridiculous what you'll sit there watching.
Brittany Saunders and how she documents everything, like her day, her
Great
whole
to
life.
follow for like,
Oh,
yeah.
she's
And she's just so comfortable just jumping
incredible.
on video and
Yeah. But yeah, she has a very successful business, big team, but she does all of her own, maybe not the funny reels and stuff that would be edited, but her showing up on her socials and just chatting, so engaging. Like we have completely different businesses, but she has such a huge following and everyone's just like, tell me more. What are you doing? Like, where are you going? It's the best. People love it.
Yeah, and I suppose, she's just got this confidence, right? And I think sometimes if you're starting from like, oh, I don't have any confidence to show up, you just got to get comfortable with being
gotta do it.
uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
Like now I can like whip my phone out and do a video on anything
Yeah.
without, scripting and prompting. But like there would have been a time where I would not have touched a video without a perfectly curated
same. Yeah.
script.
Yeah.
But it's just now it's like now I know that content doesn't need to be perfect. Like it's going to feel uncomfortable some days, and it's actually more important to show up as my authentic self. Like sometimes I'll jump on. I think when we're recording today, I'm pretty sure first I jumped on and I was like, oh hey, like happy Tuesday. Oh actually, fuck, it's Wednesday. Oh well, like keep going.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like it doesn't have to be perfect. And
Oh my God, I don't know if you saw, I did some stories yesterday and like every story I put up had like 3 spelling mistakes in it. And I can't tell you how many people laughed or said, oh my God, like my spelling was bad. I said different words. Like, I don't know. I was busy yesterday. So much engagement because it's normal.
you're like,
It's
thank you, spelling mistakes, for the algorithm has now picked
absolutely
that
like
up.
so good for engagement. But I think people are like, oh, she's busy. She's on the fly. Like, it is what it is. But
Like,
2
it's
years ago,
real.
I would have
It's like
taken that down and died of
oh,
embarrassment.
would you?
Yeah, I would have. 100%. And now I'm like, oh, whatever.
Nah,
Sorry.
spelling mistakes are funny
Yeah.
unless you get attacked by the grammar police.
Yeah. Well, I was a little bit, but couldn't have cared less.
So I think the lesson is just stop overthinking it and just start showing up, and reap the benefits and rewards of showing up daily.
Yeah.
Good chat. Well, let's go make some daily content. Gotta go.
Bye.
Bye.